Before we start this episode, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Lori Medic of 5 Star Painting of Tulsa. Lori and her husband Trevor are incredible to work with. They are my go-to painting company because they are engaged in every step of the process. From the paint consultation to the follow-up, they ensure your project is beautifully completed in a timely manner, and they are meticulous with every detail so you don't have to be. They are also friendly, knowledgeable, and combine top quality work with high quality products. Other attributes that set 5 Star Painting apart include being family owned, insured, and members of the Tulsa Home Builders Association. So when you have a painting project here in the Tulsa area, 5 Star Painting is the one to call, and they provide free estimates. Connect with them online at 5starpainting.com/Tulsa or give them a call at 918-500-5788. It's amazing how a fresh coat of paint can transform a space. Connect with them today and you will be so glad you did. And now on to the episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sharing Passion and Purpose podcast. My name is Nancy Moore, and I am the host of this weekly podcast that provides career and creative inspiration to help you build a passionate and purpose-filled life. You'll hear from guests that will help you tap into your creative potential, pursue a career with passion, and build on your biggest and best resource, yourself. I'm excited to have you join this conversation. I'm so happy you're here. Let's get started. Hi, friends. I am so happy to be here back with you today at the Sharing Passion and Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Nancy Moore. Well, today I want to talk about your spark. The 4th of July is behind us, but I can't stop thinking about the fireworks. And so for a few moments, everyone pauses. I love fireworks. We look up, we pay attention. The sky becomes impossible to ignore with all of the fun colors. And in thinking about it, it really made me wonder, how often do we do the exact opposite in our own lives? How often do we look for ways to blend in instead of standing out? How often do we downplay our accomplishments, dismiss our ideas, or talk ourselves out of opportunities? Does this sound familiar? How often do we make ourselves smaller? Today, I want to talk about why so many women play small and what it looks like to stop playing small. Because the world doesn't benefit when you hide your gifts. The world you're meant to build requires the courage to be seen. So, friends, why do we play small? Most women intentionally decide to hold themselves back. They make that decision. But it really happens slowly because we learn to prioritize everyone else's needs. We worry about being perceived as too ambitious, too confident. Does this sound familiar? Too loud, too much. So we become experts at editing ourselves. We wait to share our ideas until they're actually perfect. We hesitate before speaking up, and we tell ourselves we'll go after that goal when the timing is better. We convince ourselves we need one more certification, one more connection, one more sign that it's truly meant to be, you're meant to be on the path you're on. But we often call these preparations, but it's actually just fear. It's fear of being judged. It's fear of failure, fear of success, fear of disappointing other people. And over time, small starts to feel safe until one day we realize it's also become uncomfortable because deep down, we know we are capable of way more. So is there a cost of staying hidden, of staying small? Yes. Playing small comes with a price. It costs us our confidence. It costs us opportunities. It costs us energy. It costs us our joy. And perhaps most importantly, our authenticity. There is a difference between humility and hiding. Humility says, I'm still learning. And hiding says, I have nothing valuable to offer. One keeps you grounded, and the other keeps you stuck. Not safe, friends, stuck. Your experiences matter. Your perspective matters. Your ideas matter. There are people who need only what you can offer, and I didn't understand that for the longest time. Not the polished version, not the perfect version, just the honest, authentic version of you. I'm certainly not so polished. There are things that I have had to overcome personally myself. And that visibility requires courage. And I want to share something that I have learned over the past 5 years of entrepreneurship. And that is that clarity rarely arrives before action. Most of the opportunities I've experienced didn't begin with being certain of things. They begin with being curious and having that curiosity and willingness to try. A decision to say yes before I had everything figured out. And really sometimes it's 50 or 60%. What started out as a podcast grew to live events, retreats, partnerships, an incredible community of women, even an inner circle, and none of it happened because I had the perfect plan. It happened because I took one step, and then I took another step, and then I took another. And a year ago last summer, I decided to leave my part-time PR job so I could devote more time and energy into growing this business. And truly, this was not an easy choice for me, but it really reminded me of something important because I struggled with it. But I want you to know, you do not need to see the entire staircase before you take the next step. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to move forward anyway. So I have 4 ways that you can stop playing small. First, pay attention to where you're editing yourself because you do that to yourself. Where are you holding back your ideas? Where are you staying quiet where you want to speak up? Where are you choosing comfort over growth? And I want you to think about that. Secondly, I want you to stop asking for permission. You don't need anyone else's permission. You don't need to be validated on your next move. That is totally up to you. You are allowed to pursue what matters to you. Third, I want you to choose progress over perfection. Done creates momentum. Perfect creates delays. And fourth, surround yourself with people who remind you who you are. Your community, you know that I believe this to my core, that community matters, encouragement matters, accountability matters. The people around you should inspire you to grow, not convince you to stay where you are. So I have a couple of questions that I'd like for you to think about and consider. So as you think about your own life, where have you been making yourself smaller? What opportunities have you talked yourself out of? And maybe things just immediately pop into your head. What would you do if you trusted yourself more? Also, what is one step you can take this week that your future self will thank you for? Finally, what would change if you stopped worrying so much about what other people think? It is so freeing to let that go. So as we move beyond the 4th of July holiday, I want you to carry this thought with you. So we're starting in July. You do not have to earn your place. You don't have to apologize for your gifts. You don't have to wait until you feel completely ready. And in fact, do not wait until you feel ready. Your voice does matter. Your story matters. Your contributions matter. The world doesn't need a smaller version of you. It needs you fully present, fully engaged, and willing to be seen. So start speaking up. Take the chance, share the idea, submit the application, start the conversation. Take that next step. You can do it. It's time to stop playing small, because who you're becoming requires more space and more margin than you've been giving yourself. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I appreciate it. And until next time, I want you to remember to start with passion and grow with purpose. And also, if you are not a part of my school community, I would love to have you join us. Join us at school, SKOOL.com/sharing passion and purpose. And you will be in my community in school. I'm going live weekly, talking to different members of the community. And then there's a monthly education series where I'm picking out people, specifically people typically that are on my podcast that I want to go a little deeper with, where people in the community can go live with us. They can ask questions. We can be together, and it's a great time. So I look forward to connecting with you on social media or on the school platform. And again, thank you so much for being with me today, friends. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate you being here. And don't forget to connect with me on social media. Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn are at Sharing Passion and Purpose. And Twitter is at Passion Sharing. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.